Fantastic. Thank you very much for having me here again. Welcome to Boys Let's Chat, Auntie Ree's Open Mic. This is your host, Auntie Ree. Welcome to another very beautiful season 2. I look forward to having these deep conversations. I look forward to sharing good stories with you, encouraging stories. Like we have said very many times, the purpose of this channel and the objective is for us to level up the boy child. You know, we are happy with where everybody is, but you know, there's a great concern about the boys, where they are at, how much push they're giving themselves, because you know, at the end of the day, we want them to level up, to take the spaces that is rightfully theirs, and therefore this space is for us to talk, to interact, to keep it active, to elevate them, you know, and just to keep them who they really are. So as I welcome you to season 2, I'd like to encourage you to subscribe, to like, to share, call your friends, ask a friend to ask a friend. The bigger we grow, the better. There was a slight delay in us starting season 2. You know, the country was going through some issues and we thought to take time. A lot of the guests that we had lined up were busy. In all that they were in. We are glad things have settled down. Just got back from Eldoret City. You know, we were with the team to see the town get into a city status, but most importantly, I was there as a welcome guest to see the athletes come from the Olympics, and they've done a fantastic job. Big up to Anyonyi, boy child. Very proud of you. We're very happy. We know this is going to be the beginning of even greater things. So yes, welcome to season 2. I hope we can hear from you more. Our lines of communication are open. Send us an email, go to our social media pages, our YouTube, our Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. Happy to interact with you and let's chat. So thank you.
Subscribe now and become part of the movement. Together, let's amplify the voices that matter. Boys, let's chat Auntie Ree's Open Mic.
So, money makes things happen. Money buys things, money gets people comfortable, money gets people doing stuff. And there's been a lot of encouragement to parents to make sure that girls are given money, because it creates less dependency on them to other people, you know, other men, mostly older men. And you know, to just keep them sufficient and be able to do what they need to do without having to rely on somebody else. So there's been this really hot conversation about how about boys? They also need money. You know, there's all these stories of mamas all of a sudden and boys wanting things. You know, everybody wants the latest phone, the latest clothes. And I think it's a good time to discuss money matters to the boys, because there's also many stories we hear lately about very young boys between 16 and 20 getting themselves into affairs with much older women, you know, 40s, and mostly it's because of money. And therefore, ladies and gentlemen, and especially the boys, let's hear it from other boys on how important it is to give an allowance, pocket money, whatever we want to call it. But also, we'll be talking about prudence of money. And, you know, you get this money, how do you make good use of it? You know, we're going to talk about wants and needs. And we're going to talk about how to budget your money and how to plan for it. So my guests today will be here shortly. As you can see, I have two. They will self-introduce, and then we'll delve right into these conversations. Please share your thoughts and opinions on the same. Do you think boys should be given money or an allowance by their parents? How much is good money? Is it dependent on age or where they are at? Happy to hear from you. So even as we listen in, please remember to subscribe, to share, to like, leave a comment for us, and let's engage. So we had this conversation one time. We're actually in the middle of cooking. By the way, in this house, boys cook, but also because there are no girls. And just to let you know, cooking and housekeeping is not a girl's role. As long as you can eat, you can cook. You should cook. The rules are two. One, the food inafaa tu kuwa imeiva na watu wakule chakula moto. Anything else is fine. So anyhow, we were talking about money and you know, and they're about to go back to school and all that, and a hot debate came up. Mom, how is it that we don't have an allowance? No, we need to be part of your monthly allowance. Like, you need to budget for us, because I was telling them I was in the process of budgeting because now they're going back to school. And I said, yes, indeed, you know, there's your fee, there's, you know, your lunch money. It's like, no, that's your responsibility. But we need to have money. And it got me thinking, and I figured maybe this is a conversation a lot of boys are having out there, and therefore I invited Imran on my right and Iyaad on my left to be part of this. So Iyaad, I think I want to start with you because he was the noisiest during that convo.
So basically, what I was just trying to tell Mom is that we as boys and we as like my brothers, we need money at the end of the month from her so that we can enjoy life, you know, like have, you know, by enjoy life I mean like go somewhere, buy something, you know. So we're telling you, like, can you please what's the word, can you please fit us into your budget for when you get paid some certain amount, you divide it by your children, because also, you know, we have to do some certain things that make life interesting.
Do you agree?
100%, right? Because we are in a very tricky position, yeah? We're still not working, we're looking for something to do, to earn money, but also we do not have that, like, those funds to be able to sustain a certain lifestyle, let's say. Not lifestyle rather, but like, to do things, you know, to go out, to see your friends, to have a meal once in a while.
But which part? Because you are dressed, I dress you, I pay your fee.
But
What is this funds for?
sometimes you need to go out with your friends, like you see, like also like today, after this podcast, I'm leaving to go out with my friends, which had asked you for money. This money should just be there at the end of the month, you know, so that we can be ready
So
to use it.
you don't want to be asking
Yeah,
for
Kila
it.
siku, every other week,
Yeah.
you're just asking, no,
Yeah.
no.
Money here, this time, money. No, just give us at the end of the month, give us a certain amount and tell us this money should run you between end month to next end month. That makes no sense,
But
man.
that's funny, because what if you don't have plans? Let's assume, because you don't have plans every other day,
Yeah.
and then you have money at the end of the month that comes in like a salary. Hii pesa mtakuwa mnaweka mkifanyia
Then
nini?
that's fine.
Unaweka, una plan. You
It
the same way you have gotten to learn how to budget for your money and how to plan to do this allocation. I'm going to give 10% for this and 20% for this. Those are the lessons we're also trying to go through and learn, you know.
Lakini si mtu ulanio na pesa yake ile amefanyia job.
You have to start from somewhere.
Emergency, mami. Sai time may change.
Oh.
May change. We can't be the same as you guys like.
Tunatafuta kazi, lakini we need something.
Now you see, mommy, we're not working class now, surely.
Yeah, then if you're not working class, what do you need money for?
I mean, can't you just enjoy? Yani, ukaenda kwa nyumba one time, you just say, let me go here KFC kidogo, you take a snack or something. We don't want every single time want to do something. Mommy, can you please send me money? Can you please send me money? It can be bothering, but once we have the money, we can just leave.
Okay, that is one point of view. The other one is we need to start developing this self-independence nature.
I kind of feel that one is twisting me, but
no, it's not. I'm twisting you. It is the reality, because you'll find most of the growing generation, especially people between the age of 20 and let's say 25, yeah, people don't know how to utilize money. Even the dates people be going out to, you find yourself going to a very posh restaurant and you end up spending 17,000, 15,000, of which that money is not yours, or even if it is yours, you have poorly budgeted for it because you have rent to pay, you have electricity bills to pay, and all these things could have been covered or could have been prevented through early planning. Like if someone had gone through these teachings, you know, someone knew that if you have 1,000, I need to have 100 for transport, 200 for food, 100 more for this and this and this.
So is it fair to say, because money is earned,
True.
You know, you do something and get money. Every morning I wake up and I go somewhere, and then at the end of the month I get paid. So is it fair for me to ask that you also do something to earn this money? Ama ini freebie tu? Ini tuka freebie?
Now you see,
Inakuja
let me
tu?
tell you something. Now, as with children, I feel like the first thing should be like an allowance, mommy, please. And then the second thing is, if you want to go the extra mile, then you can allocate us a certain job to do. Then you still pay us on top of that.
Okay. I believe you really have to earn the money that you get. You know? So, comes back to the values. Allocates work to do. Small chores somewhere.
But that washing, kuosha vyombo, cleaning the house, taking care of the other smaller siblings, that doesn't count.
Okay, what does count then?
So surely what will count now? Which job will...
Sasa kuosha vyombo ni kazi mnalipwa
Mommy,
for plates
please,
that
no.
you have used.
You just need to be in the budget, mommy, because there are some certain things that even when you're going out with your friends, you just want to spend money, yeah?
Okay, Imran, what is sensible amount of money as an allowance?
In this day in time.
This day and time.
Per month.
You better quote a nice price. I'll stop. Okay.
I would say, okay. For me, I don't feel like this would still be enough for me. However, I'm trying to get like my funds from elsewhere, you get. But I think 10,000 would be enough. Okay, this is for me. I mean, I move around a lot. I would like to taste other foods and whatnot, and yeah. So that is my budget, you get. So for someone who's probably young and doesn't have much going on, maybe probably less.
AKA you.
No,
Yeah.
KFC
for your child, you can't
fries.
spare 10,000 for your child. 10,000 too.
You can't.
Man,
You can't.
you have how many children? You only have 3. Okay, you have 4 children, but then the last one, of course, he doesn't need the money. Mommy, only 30,000. 10 too.
Hii pesa unafanyia nini?
Look, we can also pick an investment, surely, mommy, please.
You know, it's one thing to have money, and I want us now to just move, just hold on, to the next level. When you have this money, you know, have you guys ever heard of the 50-30-20 rule?
Of budgeting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you know about it before I explain to you?
So you use like 50% of it is like for consumption, and then you save 30%, and then 20% is like for like things like the needs.
So it's the other way around. So 50% usually is for your needs. Yeah. 30% is for your wants, and then 20% is saving. Standard rule. And it's important to understand the difference between needs and wants. Needs are what you must have. You know, you probably pay transport to get yourself to school. You know, the very best food is a one. A need can neither be here nor there. Do you need to buy bundles all the time? You know, yes, no, maybe not. And then you have to save. Now, because if you don't understand the ethics of money and the principles around money, you know, you can be given that 10,000 or 20 or 30 depending on the family setups. But if you're going to use all this money at once, you're right back at where you are. So it's also important to understand the needs and wants. What are your needs, Iyaad? What are those needs for you?
My needs. Break money and lunch money. Those are the needs. And then wants, now you see now wants are more because wants come. Okay, see like now.
So where your priority yako iko upside down.
No, you
wants
see,
zako
no.
ndio zaidi ya needs.
No, but you see also now, my wants, you see I'm growing, so I need like new shoes, new clothes. Remember when I was small and the type of clothes I used to wear when I came Imran and Irfan used to laugh at me. Now you see as I'm growing, I need now the like the trendy stuff, you know. So when you give me that money, part of it will go into here. So that's what I feel. And then now you said saving, so I can also save like 2,500 or 3,000 from.
You know, sometimes when you have more money and you have a purchasing power, you tend to go overboard. No, it's easy. It's very easy for you to say, to even buy what you didn't really need. How would you take care of that? You to
Let's do this fast. Give me the money first. Let's see how it'll act out. Let's do month 1. To see how much will remain. Then you can help improve.
You think so?
I don't know.
You're much older.
Yeah.
What are your wants and needs?
I mean, I don't have the line between those two is quite thin, yeah. So I would just want to go to where I need to be, you know, facilitate because if I am working towards something, I have people to meet, and that doesn't necessarily mean it's a social call, you know. It could be probably business, you never know. And meeting these people, I have to facilitate that, and I have to the meeting place if I'm supposed to. Tonight I'm to lunch. That's my time to lunch to Kylie, sit, talk about what's going to happen in the near future, and those are the things. And I also travel a lot out of the country, so sometimes I would not want to impose that, you know, that what's it called? That
To keep
bill.
calling your mother.
Yeah, just I need to be here. I need to be here. No, for me to plan my stay.
But
and my
maybe
trip
that's
and
my
all
way
that.
of monitoring what you guys do every other time.
No, it's all good. I mean, I am talking about the fundamentals of giving the money, of which mine are different. Mine is the teachings and how it puts you in a better position to be in the future. You get? Mine doesn't necessarily mean that I need to have money to go and buy myself chicken and go to this. No, that's not.
Take girls out for movies and buy them KFC.
But once in a while it's fine, man.
Once in a while it is okay.
Once in a while it's
but
fine.
I mean, it's the.
You want to be a responsible man.
responsible.
Again, we've also
person.
talked about being responsible, and we're saying part of these conversations that we have as Boys Let's Chat and Therese Open Mic is creating a sense of responsibility. At the end of the day, boys need to style up, you know. They at the end of the day, they will be the providers. So perhaps this is a reminder that it's okay to buy a girl. She doesn't necessarily need to be a girlfriend, but you can extend, you know, to buy them an ice cream, a popcorn, just to create some level of responsibility. Because I think it's you who are saying it's very embarrassing that every time you go out and you don't have money and you're looking at the girl like...
You can't. It's
buy me this.
unacceptable. It's unacceptable. You're not supposed to do that. As a man, you're supposed to be the one to pay the bill. You're supposed to be the one to, you know, you're supposed to be the man.
It should come like natural, yeah?
It should. Yeah.
Utake kuambia mtu akununulie
I
kitu.
wouldn't want
Split
to,
bill.
I wouldn't want.
Hapana, if I even. Yeah. If
Yeah,
you-
but also it's important that these girls also know that you don't work.
Yeah.
And it's okay to split bills sometimes.
Yeah.
And that's the responsible thing to do. Otherwise, some of these girls out here might be living at the expense of your parents. So we are not just giving the boys money, but we're giving the girls.
Yeah.
Just stop kidogo.
Okay.
You know, when we were growing up, or my ed set, when we were growing up, the truth is we were never given these allowances. You know, everything was paid for, and then you came back home to eat, and anything else would be paid by your parents, if and when necessary. But I also know that the downside of this is it created a lot of people, especially men, because girls were given money, like we have said. I was given money because I needed money to take care of my sanitary needs, which, you know, parents understood. But boys were never given money because why did they need money? Very unfortunately, is some of these men grew up not being prudent with their money, not knowing what to do, so much so that even by the time they got jobs, they could not budget, they could not plan, and, you know, they were on a spending spree. So yes, to an extent, I do encourage that boys should be given money at an early age so that they just begin to budget for it and plan for it. But I'm a stickler to the 50-30-20 rule. There's got to be levels of saving. You know, I think I've told you guys, you only have 1 year after your graduation to stay in this house. You know, I think that the boys must be responsible to move out and start to fend for themselves. So you graduate, I give you 1 year to hustle, to, you know, to put your footing, to find yourself, to find something to do. And and then go out. And I'm hoping that if at all this money is given to you now, there's some level of una budget. But now, Iyaad, I just want to ask you, just again, very deeply, because you're much younger than Imran, before I get to Imran, how do I know that, how do parents know, parents of children of your age, mkipewa hii pesa, you are not misusing it? And we've talked about misuse many times. We have talked about drugs, we have talked about casual sex, we have talked about alcohol, we have talked about gambling and betting. So how do I
Obviously,
know?
like for me, or for like my friends, you see right now, like being a candidate is like stressful and stuff. So sometimes like during like the weekend, you just want to go out with your friends. Maybe you want to go bowling, or you just want to go just somewhere just relax, you know. And sometimes you see coming back to you to ask you for money all the time. It can also be like, what's the word? Like frustrating, you know, like how many times are you going out, what. But also I think it's also like to do with trust. If you just trust that I'm doing the right thing, and the money that you're giving me to use is going to the right places and doing the right things. I don't know, yeah.
Yeah, Imran, you're much older. Your window of staying here, it's coming to close to an end. Yeah.
Hopefully, yes.
Oh wow. One less mouth to feed. Would you save? Would you save? Do you save?
Yes, I do save a lot, and this saving is actually aimed towards that, you know, the fact that I see myself in a very different place in the next 2 years, hopefully by God's way, through God's will, having my own home, having my own car, and doing the thing, you know, in Nairobi, and that's what I'm working towards. So everything I do right now is actually aims towards that, you know. But as you know, things are not always free flowing, you know. Sometimes you hit a snag here and there, and you need that emotional, financial support coming from somewhere, you know. And if your support is your parents, and they're there for you, thankfully, they should, well, not that they should, it should be good if they assisted you here and there to at least push you through these rough times. So that is why I am actually advocating for the whole allowance. And the point that you had started on, whether you should trust that the money you're giving is being used for the right reasons, to be honest, I don't feel like there is a way that you could be 100% sure. It all comes down to how you have interacted with this person, your son or your daughter, throughout these years, and the teachings that you have given them, the values that they have grown throughout the years. And if you're confident enough in that, then I feel like the trust goes without saying, you know. But if you feel like there is an issue here and there, then you sit down with the said child
Like, you know,
and discuss.
when I talk to a lot of boys lately, there is everybody wants to be rich. Everyone wants a car.
That's the goal, no?
Yeah,
the goal.
and it's important to know that there are also many risks in that direction or on that path, you know, because there is nothing, I can assure you, there is no get rich quick scheme. If it is, I mean, everybody out here would be having money. And therefore, it's also very important to know money, even as you have it now, it takes, you know, for you to even multiply it and make it work for you, it takes prudence, it takes hard work. Actually, it takes hard work and sweat and blood.
A lot of time.
Yeah. So don't assume that, you know, you have now saved, you have 50,000 shillings, you go somewhere, you put it in some scheme that is deal. I'm quite allergic to that word of deal. Deal sijui ni nini, and then you expect that it will multiply times 100. There is no such thing. You know, you just need to know that your money una plan. When the time comes for you to move out, maybe not so much for you now, but for you, you know, you have a backup. But for you, Iyaad, it's just to know that you use this money in the right way. Remember, you're never with your parents all the time. So, so even boys, as you're getting, or as you're asking your parents for this money, it's very important to still let them know what you will use this money for. It may not be to the details, 1 to 10, but it's for maybe a haircut, it's for going out to play ball, it's for having a snack here and there, to be able to buy a soda at break time. And also know that you're responsible in how you use it, because the moment your parents smells that there's a misuse of this money and you're indulging in what is not right, definitely that allowance will be cut. I haven't really said that we've agreed on the allowance.
Come on, please, it's going in the right direction. Don't spoil it.
No, I'm just saying, even I, as an old parent, or as an old person who, in our times, there was no such thing. Maybe I'm slowly trying to get into this.
Yeah, maybe,
Maybe. So, si ati nimesema come end month, kila mtu alete pesa yake.
But we'll be knocking. We'll be knocking. So just get ready.
Yeah. So when we were talking about this that time, the conversation was 2,500 a week. I think that's ridiculous. What do you do with 2,500 a week? Is 10,000 a month.
It's not 2,500 a month.
Yes, 2,500 a month is an allowance. I'm beginning to start to think about.
2,500 a month.
Honor,
just
how much?
Uber by itself and Boda has finished that money in like 3 weeks itself. It has to be a week, mommy. Come on.
Your
please,
Boda
mommy.
transport is about 200 shillings.
In one day.
Yes.
Times 5.
1,000.
1,000 in 1 week. And that's what you're going.
Na kwani mnaenda hiyo KFC kila every day. You're not going to KFC.
No, mommy, even you, that's a bit too ridiculous. 2,500 a month. Even Imran was shocked.
But even you, Imran, up to now, you call me by the reverse call.
Because
how is it? Well, you're not even spending money on.
When you start budgeting this thing.
Normal. Because can you time
exactly. How I call my mother with normal call?
Reverse call.
Yeah. All of you call me on reverse call.
Yes,
that is standard.
A lot of times when you guys pass by somewhere and around where I work, you're coming for lunch with. So I'm still wondering, 2,500 shillings per week.
Yes.
Mommy, it has to be 2,500.
Kwani hiyo uchumi inaenda aje na
Nairobi is very expensive.
It's very expensive.
Okay, Uber. True. What you said, 4,000 goes to transport.
Exactly, already.
So you have 6,000 to figure out what to do with that.
Hey, your figure
has to be tracking back and forth.
Lunch per.
Mimi nakulaga lunch ya 150.
Anyways, maybe that's you now. But these things are changing.
Yes, you share.
As were the Gen Z, so it's my Gen Z. We're the ones now, please. So it has to change. Mommy, 2,500.
What I need to really understand. Okay, now let's be reasonable. Averagely.
But it is reasonable, ma'am.
10,000 is reasonable.
Yes, it is. Seriously, no. I'm really being serious.
Oh, no. Unless you're telling me from that money you're buying your shoes, you're buying your clothes, you're taking yourself to the dentist when you need to.
Everything is there.
Miwani ikimacho ikikata unajipeleka.
No, sasa now there's some things just don't include surely. Medical things that just has to be covered by the parent. But things like shoes and everything, it fits in that 10,000 per month. Then it makes sense. Because sasa if you give us 2,500 a month, mommy, what do we do with that money?
You panda boda ni 1,500, unabaki na 1,000, hiyo unaweza kukula chips at least 2 times or 3 times a month.
A week surely, mami, ini chips gani inauziwa? Haiwezi.
Okay, maybe the math ain't mathing here.
No, it can't.
But I mean, it's something I want to consider. Maybe I'll have a little deeper conversation with these guys about the amount. What I'm agreeing to, however, is that it's important to give an allowance to the boys. Mine as a mother and maybe as Auntie Ree is stemming from, I would hate a situation where they are getting this money through ways that are wrong, in engaging in drugs, peddling, conning people money, or beginning to sell things, because I also do understand that they have needs. You know, the needs vary depending on the age and where they are at. There are those of KFC, and there are those of meeting business people, you know. So the needs vary, but I'd also be very disappointed if, you know, maybe they start selling things to make this money, or they start conning people or stealing in ways. So I want to consider, and I want to highly encourage parents to give their boys money, but maybe we'll need a sit down on the actual amounts of money to be given, just so that we deter, you know, many risks pale mbele. So it's something we want to talk about, and we will. How I will fit it into my budget, maybe I'll go back to my boss and say I have 4 boys na wanataka allowance, so ye pia acheze kama yeye. Ama we are also going to reduce what we consume in the home so that it fits into this. But Imran, what's your parting shot on this?
Well, my parting shot is this. I am going to speak from my point of view, people in my age group, yeah. I do encourage everyone to kujituma. Go out there, try as much as possible to make a life for yourself, because at the end of the day, it is you who's going to drive where you're heading, you know, where you want your life to be in the next 10, 15 years. It is you that will determine that. So try as much as possible, do whatever needs to be done, hustle out here, get that money. However, if you feel like you have been backed up in a corner, there has to be that support system, which for me, I feel like my parents. So if you need to fall back, do fall back, and do it without shame, or without, because it's supposed to be a safe space for you. And they would probably be in a better position to help you financially and to give you that boost that you need, or to put you in a better position than you were before, whether it is mentally or whichever problem that you're going through at the time, you know. And these allowances usually come in handy to help cover the cracks, you know. It's safer for you, and you're able to move on. So yeah, I do agree with the whole allowance thing. It's just that for me it would be holding a different value for me, you know. But yes, all the way for the allowance, all the way. Yeah.
So like for me, I feel like it's a topic which we'll discuss later on. Nyuma 10 tapo. But I feel like it's really important, honestly, because, you know, also you don't want to be going somewhere and like you're just borrowing money from your friends, and then you don't know how you'll pay them, but then you just tell them, I'll sort you out later. So I feel like with the allowance, like things are able to be placed well. But don't worry, I'll keep you guys updated on the outcome. Yeah, thanks so much.
I think that's it. I think I want to encourage parents to have these conversations with their boys. We've had very open conversations with the girls. It's time to have it with the boys, and the issue is allowances and money. There's all the risks these boys are exposed to when they don't have money, and we want to deter them. Let's discuss what's reasonable, depending on you know, the financial circumstances of the boys. But where possible, let's give them money. I see they're smiling, feeling like they've now cornered me and they have won this. I'm probably not agreeable to the amounts they put out, but it's something to talk about. But I also just want to tell the boys that it's very important to know how to manage your money. You know, today you might be just getting, the most that you're getting is the allowance, but tomorrow you're going to be getting money from your hustles, from your jobs. And if you don't know how to budget for it, then it's going to be a problem. You might be surprised that there are people who'd manage 10,000 much better than someone who's earning 50,000 if you don't know how to budget for it. So it's important. And even as you're being given this allowance, please plan for it on the needs, wants, and savings. You know, you really don't need that new pair of shoe if you don't need it. You know, and that's the truth. You don't need to get to iPhone 13 just because you have an 11 and there's an upgrade and all your friends have it. Circumstances are different. I want to really encourage you to know that it's very important to live within your means. Live within your means so that you're also able to save money. There are so many new things out here, from phones to shoes to gadgets, and you don't need to have it all. Number two, you don't need to eat at KFC if your budget befits pale kwa mato, kwa kibandaski. And it's okay to do that. Your parents are doing it. So you just learn to know that what is bad is to steal, not to live within your means. And you've got to learn to do that. So I hope today you can also go and have this conversation with your parents. Let them watch this. Let them just know and see that you're responsible, even as you're given this money. I'd hate, really on a personal level as a mother, to give an allowance to my child, and the next thing I see them with the latest phone that costs all the money that I gave them. I think that's poor planning. So boys, plan, because tomorrow you'll be planning your homes. So learn to plan with this small money. It is the only foundation on how you'll plan the big money. So I think the moral of the story is I'll talk to your parents to give you the allowance, lakini budget for it. Budget for it so that you don't get yourselves into problems. And that comes to the end of this episode for today. I just really request that please subscribe, like, share, visit all our social media pages. Leave a comment. I'm very interested to hear what you think about the topic for today. And let's keep engaging. And until next time, thank you.